But a mistake a lot of salespeople make is that they sell on price, not value-based selling. Can you explain the difference?
I want to back up to what you just said about if you saw a product in a store shelves, they're already past that hurdle of adoption. So a lot of your people, nobody's ever heard of their product. They sell a product now, I think even at the dollar store, called LA's Best. And it's a spray cleaner. Well, that's a pitch item. And decades ago, it was sold at pitch stores, and it had never been in retail. And they're selling the bottles for $20 or 2 for $30 or whatever the show special was. And it's the same product. Then they got bigger and better. And then they hit that adoption where, oh, I don't even need the demo. I'll take 2 more bottles. That stuff works. Then the companies go, that works. I'll take a pallet and put it in my store. And then they start saying warehouse volume and distribution. So most of us have never seen that mass acceptance to where it's just distribute. Something you mentioned earlier, you mentioned ShamWow. Now, American trade shows, much like American TV, Shark Tank was a copy of Dragon's Den, which was a BBC show. A lot of our American TV shows are taken from our English neighbors.
Right.
The pitch industry is from England. And so there's a show called The Ideal Home Show. And it's a 28-day show, or that's the whole month of February, 12 hours a day. These people stand there and sell their gimmicks and gadgets and gizmos. And I happened to go to that show in 1990-something, and I was not a pitchman yet. And so I'm walking because I was a speaker at a trade show, and I see the guy demonstrating the sticky lint roller to get the residue off, and I bought one. And the guy's selling a 2,000-year-old pen, never needs a refill. I bought one. And somebody was selling the super chamois, the cloth that when you get it wet, it mops up soda, coffee, water, iced tea, lemonade, pomegranate juice, wine sponge, grape juice, chocolate milk, and Kool-Aid. But it wasn't called the ShamWow, and I bought it in England. And decades later, that same product got a better marketing angle, and then it got mass-produced, and now everybody just calls it the ShamWow. And that's an example of a product that's new or new to you. It's been out there, but it's new to you.
They're in SaaS. They're selling SaaS, and then they're losing the interest of the prospect. So what is a way that you would reframe that conversation?
Why did you grab those?
You handed it to me.
So, senses.
Could you explain how you persevered through some setbacks in life?
I'm a Buddhist. I was 13 and losing my father to cancer. Then I took Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins, and they don't call it Buddhism, but they call it positive mental attitude. Zig Ziglar said how to get rid of stinking thinking.
Right.
Get a checkup from the neck up.
Welcome back to the Candid Thoughts podcast, folks. This is your host, Isabelo Pascual. I'm with my friend, Hal Yeffe, a.k.a. Mr. Pitchman right here. Hal and I have been friends for several years. We met through social media and finally meeting in person.
Yeah.
You know, and nowadays with different communities online, you can connect with people with different, similar groups. So Hal, he's a storied sales trainer who's been in business for over 20 years.
Actually, if you figure out, I started selling when I was 12 years old.
Right.
And I'm 60, almost 62. Right. I've had 40 years, 50 years of figuring out how to be persuasive. But when you get out of college and you go through some actual training courses, 30-some years in the real world.
We have all this barbecue here. Let's dig in.
I'm gonna. You picked a great place for lunch, let me tell you.
Right. Yeah. So, folks, today we're at Sauced Barbecue and Spirits. So, what were your first experiences with sales?
Well, when I was 13, my dad was dying of cancer, and there's a little place close to our house where I could ride my bike to, and they had a call center, and they were selling AAA memberships over the phone. And somehow I convinced them using my brother's birth certificate that it was old enough to get a job, and I got a job. And if anyone's ever done telemarketing, now you just pick up the phone and it's a dialer and they put somebody to you. I am so old. Check this out. They would give you a piece of paper that said the first three numbers, 419, and the second three numbers, 418, and then 0000, 0001, 0002. And you called every number to 9999.
And this was back in the rotary time, guys.
What happened, though, is we were getting around unlisted numbers. They were like, how did you get my number? We were just guessing at phone numbers, but everybody needed the AAA. Now, remember, I'm 13, 14 years old. They think I'm 15 and 16. I didn't know what a yes or no question was. They taught me to ask questions in a way they got the answer back. And here I'm so young, I was eager and willing to learn. I ended up being their top sales rep. And so now I go to, hey, this is fun, dude. I'm actually making money and they're appreciating me. And that all ended and we moved to another job and life moved. And then an interview for another career. On the resume, they said, wait, you've had sales training. I'm like, yes. And then it turned out, long story short, I ended up becoming their corporate sales trainer of a Fortune 500 university and being sent to schools to be trained from Zig Ziglar and Dale Carnegie and Tom Hopkins and Dave Yoho and Ben Gay. So I've absorbed all of their training and then amalgamated it and manufactured it into some new tools that your audience can use and the people I've trained over the years. The physics is still the same from 100, 200, and 300 years ago. Science is still the same, but the times have changed. You couldn't pull a phone out 20 years ago and Google right in front of somebody. So persuasion and sales are the same. Technology has what has been the difference in the last 20 years to answer one of the questions.
Yeah, so the triggers still remain the same.
Yeah, the physics of persuasion.
Right. So what's your system to persuading a complete stranger?
You have to do AIDA, which is attention, interest, desire, and action. So if they walk by you and they don't have your attention, you couldn't do it. How many times have you been in a trade show and you walked up and down the aisles and maybe you walked to the bathroom and one day you're like, hey, I never saw that booth, but it's been there the whole time and you walk past it. Shame on the agent for never getting your attention. Now, sometimes it's not for you. If you're not going to buy a swimming pool, you ignore the swimming pool people. If you're not going to buy a John Deere tractor, you ignore the John Deere tractor. So what we're trying to do is, like a gold mine, we want to put all the dirt into the sluice and shake it and look for what we're getting. So there's millions of people walking by, and some people have no interest in what we're doing. So now the next step is, now that we found the raw chunks who have a little bit of interest and desire in what we have, now we have to move to the next step of the demonstration, presentation, persuasion, and sales cycle.
How do you know when a pitch is failing in Connecta?
So you can tell with physical, their feet are pointed the other way. They're taking steps backwards. They're not looking at you. They're staring at their phone. They're looking at the booths. If you don't have their attention, the pitch is somewhat irrelevant. So that's one step. The second is, when people are asking questions, I want you to picture having a palette with paint, and you paint all of the questions that I'll call buy signs in bright green. When I get this home, where do I plug it in? If I get 2 of these, how do I store it during the winter? Well, what's your service warranty? Those are all ownership questions. Now, paint those questions red when they say things like, do you have a card? Do you sure? Are you online? Will you be here tomorrow? Or are you here next week? They're not trying to ask you questions with the product, they're telling you why they're not going to get it now. And then a one call close, hey, you see it, you touch it, you feel it, you fondle it, you fall in love with it, you're going to get it right now. We don't end up with, I'll think about it, I'll come back, I want to talk to my spouse, I'm here all week, I'm going to go take a walk, I have to pray on it. So the ultimate is once they leave your booth, there's 500 acres that they're going to go explore and forget you. So you have to get them while they're with you.
What's the disparity when you're dealing with Gen Z versus a baby boomer?
The product you're selling still has to entice them. So I have a program I call selling bags of shit. And if I'm selling a bag of shit and you don't want it, it doesn't matter how I describe it. But then I'm going to give you a second bag of shit free and you still don't want it. So it doesn't matter. You're getting more free.
Right.
Then just now I'm going to lower the price and give you another bag. So you're going to get 3 bags of shit cheaper than 2 bags of shit. There's no reason you wouldn't want this shit, right? If what you're selling doesn't resonate, you have no magic words. Now, in the opposite, if I have something you really want and you want it and nobody else has it and I want it or you want it and I got it, we're going to get it. So we have to focus in on what we have that's unique and different and that value proposition of the fear of missing out. If you don't get it now, you're probably not going to get it. You came here to see new and unique things and you've never seen this before. So if you had this in your life, what would it do for you? Oh, wow, that's great. How would that affect you? So based on what you said, it just makes sense that you get it, doesn't it? That's how we do it.
Right. Let's get into your background. So you came from Toledo, Ohio. You built your, you did your sales training, and then you moved to the Gulf Shores in Alabama.
Actually, I moved to Chicago next.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm. I was at a trade show representing some people, and somebody came up and said they had heard good things about my sales training sessions and what would it take for me to come to work for them.
Right.
And we did some negotiations, and there was a big, what I call a comma zero. The comma moved and another zero got added, and we did the comma zero and a trip to Chicago. And that worked out really, really well until 1999 and then 2001. When 2001 happened, things shifted. Much like when COVID happened, things shifted. So survivors in life, our elder generation went through the Great Depression and they went through the war, big generational shifts. We met during COVID, a generational shift. And so now your audience is going to have to deal with this next generational shift of 2025 and what do they do for the next 50 years of their lives. And that's what we've been focusing in on, a lot of learning what we did over the last 50 years, the last 100, 200 years, and amalgamating that into something that we can use for the next 50 years going forward. Plant the seed now, fertilize it now. You may not even see any fruit for a little bit, but if you didn't plant that mango tree 7 years prior, you would have never harvested the mango fruit.
Right. You just have to start.
Yep.
Ever wanted to make a billion new friends? Here you go. B&F Kombucha is the smoothest kombucha on the market. Founded in 2015, their mission is to produce the highest quality kombucha in Jun and make a billion new friends along the way. Available now in Alaska, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Oregon, Washington, California, and more states to follow. Go to bnfkombucha.com to learn more. So a lot of people that are entering sales, they are analysis paralysis. There's so many different options. So they're trying to find the right sales trainer. So what are the best resources for somebody who's young, who's looking to get into sales?
That's a better question. And much like what I just did, getting a better question is one of the ways to better communicate because it gives you a few extra seconds to think about what was asked.
Right.
There's no law that says you have to answer a question just because somebody asks it. And so in the art of persuasion, finding out why did you say what you said, and that is much with you right there. But if somebody gives in sales an objection, isn't always a no. It's a question. So it's when somebody's asking an objection, why did they say it? What makes you say that? What gives rise to that opinion? That's an interesting observation. Share a little more about that. And the more they give you about why they have that fear they're holding on to, like a bomb tech, the more you're able to diffuse that bomb. And after a while, you've seen the different types of bombs. So you know that one needs this, that one needs this, and this one needs this. So by asking the right questions up front in a sales presentation, you learn a lot more about at the end when it comes time to get the money. And I'll give you a visual. You've seen a bike lock where you have 4 tumblers and you have to open all 4 tumblers to slide the bike lock. Well, any one of those 4 tumblers not open, the lock won't open.
Right.
So you have to get all 4 of those, like trust, respect, and appreciation and empathy when you're dealing with somebody. Otherwise, you're selling them bags of shit.
You're a contractor for these different companies. So how does somebody get to your position where you're a contractor for a state fair?
Humbly, it's very, very hard, because they want you to be their team employee and work just for them. But there's only one thing that you, me, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden all have in common. And the one thing that all of us have in common is 24 hours to a day. Rich or poor, fat, ugly, purple, or polka dotted, you only get 7 days in a week. So how do you want to use them? And I control my time. So if you look at a calendar, and if you're working the fair circuit or the event circuit, you know there's a certain show in January or February or March. And next year, that show will be in January or February or March. Every August is the State Fair of Wisconsin. So I'll go back to the State Fair of Wisconsin. Training a team to bring with you, either they just hire you and they put you in the booth and they have a very good training program with a couple pats on the back and go, good luck, kid, you got this. And there's not a whole lot of industry support, which is a soapbox that I've been standing on and fighting, trying to create materials that help young reps succeed instead of just survive, but thrive. And I'll take it upon myself because nobody gave me those tools, so I had to manufacture them. But if they didn't give you sales aids, I made them even before the internet. Well, maybe not before the internet, before the mass adoption of the internet and the AI.
Right.
Even in the old days when we were making PowerPoint sales presentations, if you don't make it and you give a message and the message wasn't received, it was your fault for being the deliverer of the message that they didn't understand it. You talked, nobody listened, they left and didn't learn anything. Well, in a sales presentation, it's very much the same.
All right, everybody, welcome. We are back and we are live. You already know. Oh, the pew, pew, pews. Let's go. Got that up here, trying to figure out how to kind of settle in, make it work, guys. I am so excited to be here tonight. Oh, my goodness, guys. It's been a crazy day. Not that I don't get my life threatened a lot on Facebook, but got one that's back. This guy is back and, just mad at me. So we're trying. We're working on it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the intro. That was a great podcast. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. We are excited. Let's go. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to go ahead and bring him to the stage. This is an amazing man. This is a hilarious man. This man is your friend. This man is my friend. He's done a ton. You know him as the Chef Isabelo, and I know him as my friend Isabelo Pascual. He's also a producer. He's also a writer. He's everything you could want and more in somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your friend and my friend, Isabelo Pascual. Let's go, or a.k.a. Chef Isabelo. I'm trying to get that mute. There we go.
The biz rep.
And the biz rep.
Yeah.
And the biz rep.
As always, it's always a fun time. This
Heck
is what
yeah.
my fourth time on PT Pod Show, or the third time, I forget.
I don't know. I don't have many friends, so a lot. Also,
Yeah.
I believe you would be great at this stuff, so I try to get you to do it, hoping one day you'll be like, you know what, this is kind of a thing. And I know you podcast, but you podcast like once a month-ish. You know what I mean? And I'm trying
Right.
to get you to do this.
I hear you, but part of the commitment is that if I have like an order, then I have to run, and I am literally on the run, and I'm just grabbing some grub. So, it's kind of sporadic right
I
now.
hear
But we
you.
have a unique opportunity right now with Isabelo the Bizrep right now. And Mike, thanks for having me on the show again. It's always a good time. That last episode was with Hal Yaffe. He is a excuse me, Zig Ziglar Disney Institute certified sales trainer and speaker. He is also he has been for decades the ShamWow demo rep at trade shows. So
Right.
he's demoed at all 50 states across the country. He's worked with a number of other clients. And he's under NDA, so I'll just say he's worked with a number of Fortune 500 companies for decades. So there's that. And so you see a lot of people that are selling, the Jordan Belfort straight line persuasion method. This is a free crash course in that episode. You guys can choose to tune in or not. It's up to you. We live in a free country, so people have choice. I mean, I do like a few Instagram meme profiles every now and then, but sometimes you got to put some good information in your head that can actually change your life. Yeah.
True that. Sometimes you got to break it down on a deeper level. I love that.
But
And
sometimes,
sorry, go ahead.
sometimes you got to have fun too, because it gets too heavy with all the serious stuff.
Absolutely. That actually was one of my favorite podcasts you ever did. And I do understand you have other stuff going on, but man, you know what I mean? We want to get you in the mix, my brother. We think it would be awesome. So, and we will. We're going to get there one day. I'm going to have all the money and I'll just be like, hey, dog, I'm giving you $100,000 a year. I'm going to Joe Rogan it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to Joe Rogan it. Where I can just give you money to do stuff, like you'll be my Theo Vaughn. You know what I mean? So
we need that Spotify deal, or Rumble 2.0 deal. But I heard that Netflix are actually looking for 50 live podcast shows. It's a feature, so they're investing in that. And I've also been doing some research where a lot of brands are investing into entertainment, IPs and whatnot. So if you look at Nintendo, they made we've known Nintendo for decades. The SNES, that's what I grew up on. I have a Nintendo Switch. We've had the Game Boy when it first came out. Well, I had the Game Boy Color, excuse me, because the Game Boy came out before I was born.
Fair enough.
You remember it, Mike. Yeah, but the point is that they pivoted into the entertainment space where with movies, they made the Super Mario movie. I haven't seen it yet. But now they're also producing a Legend of Zelda film franchise. So they started. Do you know how Nintendo started off?
Meaning, what do you mean?
The company.
Nintendo. Didn't they make regular toys? I think
they were a trading card company. So they made playing cards 100 years ago, and then they pivoted in the 70s and 80s and started making video games, and that became a hit, and that's what they're known for today. So in that similar vein, I've been reading some consumer reports and analysis where brands are investing in intellectual property and IP. This is the Isabelo Bizrep producer's hat that I'm putting on. I wear a couple different hats. But so the trajectory is for brands to invest in influencers and making content, because people do like long-form content and you can leverage the influencers.
for sure.
There's a new game, I haven't played it yet, but I do like a good video game or two from time to time. It's called Dispatch. It had Aaron Paul
Called what?
from
Wait, it's called what?
Dispatch.
Dispatch. Okay.
It just came out, and Biznatch.
something. I thought you said something about like piss match or something. I was wait, and that's why I didn't get to repeat it. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't get to repeat it.
or someone snatched. But oh well, this is
Who
a
knows?
family-friendly show.
Let's go.
Yeah, but the point is that they had an ensemble cast leveraging influencers, traditional Hollywood, and voice actors who've been doing video games for decades and cartoons and whatnot. So that kind of cross-pollination of talent is what brands are investing tens of millions of dollars into. In fact, hundreds of millions of dollars if they have that capital and that partnership. That's what they're appealing to. So the producer hat back on, when you're attaching talent, it's called attachments. When you're putting up a pitch deck together in a project to pitch to studios to get greenlit for investors, you put together talent. That's what sells. That's what puts asses in the seats, or that's what justifies your Netflix subscriptions or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that example of Dispatch, where they have TV and film talent. Jeffrey Wright was also in it. Jeffrey Wright, is Felix from the Daniel Craig 007 movies. He's also been in a lot of stuff. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad and some other things too, and the Invincible TV show. And then there's voice actors from video games, and you have a couple of influencers from YouTube. So leveraging all that market share is, a smart decision as a producer.
For sure. Absolutely. Sorry, man. I got a little weird thing going on with my internet, and I am just trying to figure out what is going on here. So it looks like everything is good now. Okay. Looks like it was just an internet stutter. No worries. Sorry, dog. As a producer, when we're live, I have to take care of that. So also, do me a favor and check your phone. We're getting a little bit of buzz on your mic. So you're on mute right now, but as you maybe check your mic on your phone just to see, getting a little bit of a buzz on there. I love that. And yeah, I think content is the next thing. What I kind of wanted to talk to you about is AI, right?
1 second, I'm switching my got my headbuds, my earbuds.
Cool.
So
Word. What I wanted to talk to you about, basically, I'll set up the question while you get rocked on. No worries, man. What I wanted to kind of talk to you about was AI and what it means. Now, we can't possibly understand what it really means, right? Because it's so influential and so big, and it's going to mean so much in the grander scheme of everything, but specifically and especially entertainment, production, that kind of stuff there. So, my question is, what do you think AI means? How are you seeing it currently as far as what it's doing, that kind of stuff, and, that kind of thing as far as that goes? And are you using AI? Has it benefited you in any?
So, firstly, am I using AI? I use AI every day as a tool. But the thing is, there are a lot of people who think they can have a subscription to Grok or ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and then they're experts all of a sudden. No, I've been doing my craft for over 15 years. I've worked in this industry. I've made money in this industry. And now there are people that think, oh, all of a sudden I'm going to beat a rap case, and I'm a lawyer all of a sudden on ChatGPT.
Right.
We know the types. There are some guys that have done misdemeanors and other shit like that. And they think they're smart all of a sudden. They're not slick. It's a tool. So if you do a proper prompt, then it'll work for you. But if you do a terrible prompt, it's going to be a crap result, right?
Sure.
And so if you're able to, because it's not an input that's ones and zeros anymore, like traditional programmers use. You'll use Python, C++, and whatnot, and speak that language. Now, what AI does is we're directly interfacing with the mainframe, with a terminal, and we're inputting commands just in regular English instead of just speaking that specific, binary language.
Right.
As far as what I use it for is, I do some research. I'll ask it to aggregate different competitors and look into different demographics and markets and see what's viable. I use this for, Chef Isabelo as well, because I'm trying to pivot away from baby boomers. I mean, in the first 3 years of Chef Isabelo, baby boomers were my bread and butter, but a lot of them are unfortunately passing away. They're having health issues like gout, etc. Or they're just part of the California exodus. And to remind you folks, I do live in Southern California. So it
Oh, we're
makes
gonna
sense.
get into that LA scene. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. But basically, if you purchased a house 30 years ago for $150,000 in California, and it's appreciated to where it's like $850,000, and you can buy a home in South Carolina or in Texas for 350,000, and you're retiring, you have your pension plus you have the equity of the home. Why not sell it off? It makes sense. So
Right.
I have to replenish my pipeline as a business person and find young people who understand the value of USDA prime steaks and multicut seafood flash frozen delivered direct to you. But a lot of people, they get sticker shocked. They're like, oh, it's too much. Well, I have payment plans, my friend, and you're spending more at Costco, Stater Bros, and Aldi, or whatever local retailers near you that's comparable.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, it's some people don't get the value proposition. You can explain everything until you're blue and blue in the face, but sometimes they just don't give a shit. So, I mean, that's just a brass tacks. You can explain logic to people, and then we know how it is, Mike.
Absolutely. Hey, goodness, man.
Yeah.
If
But
there is
as
one thing I spend way too much time doing, it is trying to explain logic to people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Let's go. There are so many. I can't even get into it. But let's just say a lot of people are willfully ignorant, and they're going to stay that way. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah,
you
but
don't
then
have to take my word for it.
Right.
right, but also you have to consider, since we are initiated, Mike. There are some people who have legitimate mental disabilities and other things. So then they may hear some voices or whatnot. So you can't really reason with crazy, can you? That's another factor as well. Not just logic, but sanity.
Sanity is key, man. I agree with you. Let's see if I can bring this bigger. There we go. Bam. Okay. So, dadgummit, I had it pulled up. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So, for those of you that don't know, see, but I wanted the writing too. What are you doing to me, Facebook? Let me see here. Let me click on it right here. Okay. Hey, beautiful people. Did you know that Chef Isabelo is also on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook? Go ahead and give him a follow on each platform. There's also a hashtag discount. Let's go. Hashtag discount, everybody. You know you love it. If you write a positive review on Isabelo's Facebook page, Chef Isabelo's Facebook page, coming straight out of LA, hot and ready. The paying attention has some rewards, and you can also see over 127 recipes. Let's go. Current promotions and giveaways and other details. You can also learn more and order online via the website. It's easy. It's simple. It's chefisabelo.com. And everybody go and support my man, the chef, right now. Tell us more about Thanksgiving. Big holiday, lots of people eating food. What do you got going on? And what are you seeing? Like, talk to me about you personally, of course, but also kind of what you're seeing in the market.
Right. So me personally, I am going to do my signature recipe of my spatchcock turkey that's been wet brined for over 18 hours. I did 18 hours last year. I could do 18 or 24 hours this year. So I'll list my recipe once I prep that. As far as any invites or anything, I don't have anything as of yet.
Okay,
I'm
wait.
still
I'm not letting you slide, dog. I got you on this show. I would be a poor journalist if I
right,
didn't keep it real. You know what
right.
I'm saying? All right, so give us some turkey recipe hints, my brother. You know what I mean? What are some turkey recipe hints there?
Right. So what I'll do is a wet brine, and I can do that in some. I have a couple different options. Now, for some people who cannot drink alcohol, then you can use a substitute. But I've done bourbon with some thyme and rosemary and some fresh fruit,
Okay,
some
wait.
oranges.
Okay, cool. But let's rewind. You know I
Right.
am a non-drinker. Shout out all my brothers and sisters doing it with no alcohol.
Yep.
So let me ask you. I'm a water brine guy, right?
Right.
Now, the original is salt and water, and you do it the night before, meaning you're going to drop the turkey, say, between 8 and 9 a.m. You drop the turkey in the brine about 8 or 9 p.m. the night before. They were just using salt. I actually talked to you last year full disclosure, you know what I mean? Let's go. You know what I mean? I talked to you last year.
Me. I'm gonna be another rapper dead for popping off at the mouth with shit I shouldn't have said.
The one thing you brought me into was the time and other things that you can put in that water. And I was like, duh, of course you can put other amazing stuff in that water. But I want to know, is 12 hours enough if you're doing straight water? Because I would think with alcohol it goes quicker, right? Because of the acidities in alcohol that are going to break down the fat and the other. And
Right.
so if we're just doing water, salt, rosemary, thyme, what else you got for it?
Well, also some fresh fruit, so I put some citrus as well, so that gives it a bit more complexity in the flavor profile.
Love it.
But, yeah, so I mean, my turkeys are bigger. I mean, I'm getting like a 20-pound turkey this year. So that's why I have it for 18 to 24 hours. That's the plan for this year. And I posted the last 2 years of my turkeys. So people can see those recipes.
Gotta go. Gotta go.
Yep.
Follow the biz rep. Be a biz rep. Let's go.
And BizRep stands for Business Rebel, folks. You can check it out. These BizRep apparel, I have they're available in noir or sand. And I also have the BizRep headgear, which is available too. And if you have to do your own thing and you are a rebel, you're a BizRep too. So if you want to support, you can click the links below and grab one. They are made in the USA. They're designed and made in the USA. So I'm a big proponent of shopping local because that's what actually supports
I
the
need
economy.
one. I forgot you have. Man, send me a t-shirt. Send me an XL. You know what I'm saying? Text me the cost and send me an XL, dog. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's go. I need one right now. I'll wear them on my podcast. Bro, I literally need some t-shirt. I'm in that, like, look, man, to be, you know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. I'm old, and I don't like being old. You know what I mean? I don't like it, but I'm getting old, and I've done that thing. I've come to that point in life where I am a man who has a bunch of old, falling apart t-shirts, okay? If you are a man past a certain age, you have like 2 or 3 t-shirts that are like gifted to you, or you go to the right party or the right game and you get a t-shirt, but you have your favorites. But then those t-shirts end up being 10, 11, 12 years old. They got holes in them. They're not like black anymore. There's some weird off gray color. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm dealing with. Okay. I need some new t-shirts. And I go live 5 days a week, bro. Sometimes 6. You know what I'm saying? I need a biz rep. I'm dying for a bit. You got to hook me up with a biz rep.
I feel you, Mike. So I'll send over a link after we're done with this. And, talking about, as we get older.
Send me what? No, we don't send me a link. We send everybody else a link. We send me a shirt. Okay?
You got it. You'll get the
Izzy.
shirt. Yeah.
See, I wouldn't talk like that, but I'm a business rebel. You know what I mean? What can I
Right.
say?
And I appreciate the solidarity, Mike. So, yeah, but I was going to say that as men, we can wear our drawers. We can drive our car and wear our drawers the same way until it's run down. It's got holes and it's got the engine light on.
That's how we do. Yeah, no, man. It was like, I got in my truck today and it was like 20 miles till E. You know what I mean? Thing dinging orange. And I drove. I was like, I ain't going no 20 miles. I'm fine. And it's like down to, and I didn't even know the thing turned red. I never paid attention before. But it was like, bing. It was like, quit driving, stupid. Go to the gas station. So,
yeah, but then again, you can get in trouble because I did run on empty and I had to take an Uber to a gas station and I had to buy a gas canister. So I was, my truck was on the mountain and then I had to take an Uber down. There was no reception. So that was a mission in itself. But sometimes us guys are stubborn ladies, So, but we'll accept some clothes. If you want to get us some nice socks without holes or some drawers, we'll appreciate it. But usually for ourselves, we'll wear it all the way down.
I got, you know what I mean? I still have like 3-4 pairs of socks that are just fine. But no, you know what I have on my Christmas list? I'm simple. Every year I just want 2 things. I want a black on black OU hat and I want a new hoodie. That's it. Because I know I'm going to wear a hoodie and I know I'm going to wear a hat. That's it. I don't want to put heaviness on my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it, dog. And a delicious meal, but that's happening because I like to cook, as you do too. So, by the way, we got off the turkey. We got to get back. We got the time. We got the sage. Got a little rosemary. Now, the most important, because look, man, flavors are, what do you call it? I can't think of the word.
To each their
You know,
own.
Yeah, people like their own. You know what I'm saying? They're, atypical. However, cooking it, there are 1,000 different, ways, suggestions, recommendations on how to cook your turkey. Now, I know a lot of that comes from the brining, but say I'm brining for 12 to 20 hours in water, then I put it in my oven. What temperature do I put it at? Help me.
So it depends if you want a crispy bird, if you want a well done bird. Because the common complaint is people say I don't like turkey because it's too dry. Now, when you wet brine it, it tends to soak up that juiciness, that flavor. And what I like to do is I spatchcock the bird, which means you remove the spine, you hack that out, and then you lay it flat. So then it'll cook more evenly and consistently.
So you don't cook the bird as a bird?
No, I remove the spine, I spatchcock it. And so the result
You
is
love saying that, by the way. Enough. We get it.
Yeah, cock is a nice word.
I love you, bro. You're doing you. And that's all I want you to do, you, dog. So good.
Right?
But anyway.
Well,
so you basically you take the turkey.
I take the turkey.
You take the turkey. Okay, let's.
And I cut the spine. I remove the spine so it's nice and flat.
You take the spine and you pull it out, and then you flatten the turkey. So the outsides of the turkey are laying down pan to the outsides of the turkey, and the inside of the turkey is exposed now.
Yes.
Okay.
And then for a crispier skin, I'll also use some cheesecloth, and I'll make a butter rub that I'll put on the bird. I'll massage it into the bird so it's super juicy, and then I'll leave the cheesecloth to cook in the oven with it. And so the bird ends up nice and juicy. The skin is nice and crispy. That's an ideal bird. There's a lot of people that can't cook turkey. That's my recipe, and that's why I yield some pretty good stuff. Chef Isabelo knows his stuff.
And hey, man, yes, Chef Isabelo does know his stuff. And one of the things I think Chef Isabelo would tell everyone, and I would agree, is that a lot of times it depends on the quality of the bird you're getting.
Right.
Okay, because I'll be honest, year before last, spared no expense on the bird. You know what I'm saying? Went bird in, had a delicious, amazing bird. Last year, went a little savings on the bird. Bird didn't turn like I wanted it to. You know what I'm saying? Bird was
You
not
better kill me. I'ma be another rapper dead for popping off at the mouth with shit I shouldn't have said.
So the point is, the bird just wasn't quite what I, wanted it to be. So the quality of the bird is very important. Now, one thing we've noticed, you know what I'm saying, with Chef Isabelo is that you got them birds. You've been posting some birds. You've been talking about these birds. Let us know how we can get some Chef Isabelo birds. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So Thanksgiving is next week. I've been taking pre-orders because I don't like to do things last minute, especially when you're in the distribution business, because you have a bunch of orders. You get your pre-orders because it has to be processed by the farm. I, as the distributor, place the order from my vendor, and I get the birds. I fulfill them. And so if people want to do something last minute, I mean,
Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. So you're playing some Charlie Brown stuff.
No. Actually, I was pulling. I didn't realize you could hear it. I was trying to pull up your ad. Well, there it is, right there. Boom. Right there. You know what I mean? 20-pound organic turkey for Thanksgiving. Sorry, that's your music, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. That's your music. But anyway, no, I wanted to pull this up. But you had music in the background that I did not want to play, and I apologize for that. But there you go, right there. I wanted the folks to have a visual of the amazing Chef Isabelo act.
Right. So, folks, what Chef Isabelo's brand is that I source from local vendors. I work with local farms and butchers, and I offer USDA prime steak family packs and variety packs, wild-caught seafood, free-range chicken and pork. None of this crap, no Bill Gates farms and whatnot. It's, it's locally sourced. It's, from smaller farms, and you're shopping local. You're shopping small. I mean, that's basically what I am. I am a small business. You're supporting local farmers and local butchers. It's not some Chinese farm that's been bought out and then because that's happening a lot. And so, with that, they're also lobbied by Monsanto to produce GMO-ridden foods and whatnot. And having that unique perspective where I'm in that food industry, I've actually gone to the FDA warehouses and whatnot, to the offices, and I see all this stuff. I have these conversations. So that's a unique perspective I, as an expert, have in my field. It's not somebody who goes to Walmart and they flip plates. I mean, that's fine. Get your hustle on with your Cash App and whatnot. But, I'm a legitimate business. I have my corporations and whatnot filed. And that's great that people are being more industrious nowadays. But like I said before, the analogy with using an LLM, ChatGPT or AI like that, is people they think they're slick when they use AI, when there are people who've actually done their craft for years or even decades at some point, so they know what the fuck they're talking about. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, fine. We're good. Well, and not only
Yeah.
that, man, it's and what I find is, I mean, like, bro, it's interesting. The game has changed, and it is extremely interesting. Oh my goodness, Iron Bull Taurus in the building. Shout out to the big homie.
Iron Bull, what's up?
Yeah, man, I want to give him a little bit of a shout out, a little bit of an apology, man. I've had a lot going on last few shows. Haven't got to really give him a good shout out. This man is a faithful. We respect him. He's got Seaport Wrestling and Boxing Academy. They're doing stuff with the local, at-risk youth. They're working. You know what I mean? We've got a donation. Iron Bull, if you're listening still, do me a favor and post that link so we can post that link for you, brother. Thanksgiving. By the way, this is our Thanksgiving episode because we will not be here. We're off next week for Thanksgiving. My personal favorite holiday, the most important holiday to me. You know what I mean, personally. And my favorite, by far my favorite holiday. For a lot of reasons. But by far
And a lot of people forget what the namesake means, what Thanksgiving means.
Yeah.
So it's to be grateful. Now, the story, because I was actually writing a treatment for a project called 1621. That was a historical epic about Samoset and Squanto and the Pilgrims.
Sure.
The separatists, as they were leaving England and heading to Plymouth Rock. So I have a treatment about that, and that's been in development for a while. But I did a lot of research. And so Samoset and Squanto, they saved the Pilgrims because they were unequipped for the Plymouth winters.
Mm-hmm.
And so Samoset, Squanto, and his tribe, they taught the Pilgrims how to cultivate, corn and other vegetables and survive the winter. But there was also a mental health crisis on the Mayflower. So here's the truth. During the 3-month voyage, half of the crew had already passed away in transit before they even landed in the New World. And so that kind of psychological trauma can make people distrustful of people. So that's another factor of history. But now, as we're several centuries down the road, we all speak the same language, and we have a degree of emotional intelligence, and we are the same people as Americans here. So we can understand certain situations now. Seaport Future Wrestling.
Sorry. I didn't realize I was going to pick up the whole screen. That's not supposed to do that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show chats as we talk. Sorry, man.
Right. So basically, in my treatment, I wanted to directly address that trauma, which has never been really addressed in pilgrim stories.
Sure.
And so I wanted to discuss public relations and just humanize everybody, because then there's the him versus them and all that shit. And is that really conducive for growth? No, it's just pandering, and nothing changes.
When you realize, man, Thanksgiving is an immigrant story. When you realize it was about, taking immigrants in. That's beautiful and amazing. Okay, let's read this real fast. Seaport Future Wrestling and Boxing Academy is based to rehabilitate the young youth of kids that are locked up in juvenile detention centers. The kids that are locked up in those juvenile detention centers will be rehabilitated through Seaport Pro Iron Bull Taurus's program. 90 days of wrestling, 90 days of, I want to go, 90 days of martial arts. Man, let an old man in, Iron Bull Taurus. Let an old man mess around. 90 days of kickboxing. They still have 90-day programs, 390 hours of community service. They, while they're doing these programs, they have to go to church, doing more stuff. And then if you guys want to contribute, there's the GoFundMe right there, holding that link up. Make sure you go there, check that out, and support something beautiful and amazing. And during Thanksgiving, I want to give thanks to all of you guys. Thank you to the chat, and thank you to the listeners. Without you guys, I don't exist. And, it has been, been a lot of work. I'll be honest, it's been a lot of work to make the vision happen, but we're making it happen, guys. We're going 5 days a week. We've got individual specific content and programming for each day of the week. Something for everyone, I hope. I hope you love it. And, drop us a line in the chat. Let us know what we can do better, what you'd like to see, because that's why we're here. I want to send a shout out to my producer. She knows who she is, and we love her and appreciate all the work she does for us as well. Then, of course, I want to send a shout out to my boy, Michael Mann. Thank you so much. My partner, 2 days a week. Want to send a shout out to Big T. Well, no, it's actually T Cron, not Big T. Want to send a shout out to T Cron, of course. Want to send a shout out to Mike Calderise as well. And then, of course, Isabelo works with me a lot behind the scenes. We do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Very excited about that. Shout out to T Cron. Shout out to Michael Mann. Shout out to Isabelo. Shout out to Mike Calderise. You guys are the core team. I appreciate you. And shout out to everybody else in the mix. Without you guys, none of this is possible. And man, I'm excited. Let's see here. Iron Bull also, man, has suffered from seizures too. So it's beautiful, man. And he's living proof that you can do great things even with, some issues. So we love it. All right, I'm done preaching.
But as this is the Thanksgiving episode, I want to say, Mike, thank you so much, brother. Audience, Mike and I have known each other for over 5 years now. And we've been friends and, true friends. And it's rare to find good people nowadays anywhere. Local to you, a couple states over, a couple countries over, it's hard to find good people in general. And I'm just grateful for our friendship, Mike. And we all do.
Nobody else likes me, okay? Nobody else wants to hang out with me. So I'm more grateful for you. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a lot of people who are jealous of me, a lot of haters and whatnot. I bust my ass to make stuff happen out of the blue. I don't have benefactors and investors. I have some friends that help me out from time to time, or I take business loans, or I do what I have to do. Maybe I'm, on the street doing a little something strange for some change. That's a joke.
Hey, man, that's that chocolate goodness. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
That chocolate banana. And so, yeah.
Well, you get 2 laughs on that one, man. Anyway, so we gotta get you that money, whatever you're doing, bro.
Right.
And go for you. Shout out one more time, Iron Bull. Just also next year, he's pulling up dates for the Seaport Wrestling Redemption 2026. I want to go, man. Got to get out to Georgia. Shout out to my boy Protocol. We don't do a lot of podcasting anymore, but shout out to him because I wouldn't be here without him teaming up with me and working for well over a year with me back in the day. All the death threats, all the hate, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to everyone. Man, I just want to say I'm thankful. And the reason, as we wind down, that Thanksgiving is so important to me is because I grew up extremely poor, right? I grew up with not a whole lot of much. And here's the thing about that a lot of people don't put together when you grow up as a poor kid, is you got Halloween and you got Christmas, bookending Thanksgiving. Now, if you're a really poor kid, you don't get the costumes. I know you don't even think about, a poor kid on Halloween isn't any different, but it really, really is. It really is. And you got a single parent working really hard, not in the home. and you're by yourself, you don't get to do a lot on Halloween a lot of times. It's just not an option for you. And so being poor and single parent, no brothers or sisters situation, sometimes Halloween isn't all that great. And you wish it was more fun. Now, fast forward to what? December 25th.
Congratulations. Well done.
You know what I'm saying? Fast forward to December 25th. It's Christmas. Every poor kid hates Christmas. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? We don't hate Christmas for the representation or anything like that. Poor kids don't like Christmas because it's a reminder of how poor we are. And it stretches from the presents under the tree to Christmas Day to going to school after your little time off, and all the kids having shit you don't, and all the kids having name brand stuff when you're wearing your and ones and your Psyches. You know what I mean? But in the middle of all of that, being reminded you're poor and you don't have what other kids have, right in the middle of that is a wonderful holiday where all you have to do is eat and hang out with family, and it's always on a Thursday, so you get a long weekend, and everybody's happy, everybody's eating, nobody feels poor. Or how about this? I felt a lot less poor during that time, right? And you don't feel poor, you don't feel the struggle. So that's why it's my favorite holiday. It's a holiday about vibes and family coming together and not having to spend money like you do on the other holidays. But it's about a reminder that you get to eat well and you have people that love you, not a reminder of what you're not getting or what you don't get that other people do. So I have so much to be thankful for. My wife, my church, my business, my friends, our podcasts. Once again, shout out to all my homies. T-Cron on Monday, Michael Mann on Tuesday and Wednesday, Calder Reese on Tuesday and Friday, Isabelo behind the scenes. All of y'all, thank you. My own family, thank you. Thank you all for listening. I'm so very thankful. I hope this Thanksgiving is a wonderful one for you. Things are crazy. Times are crazy. Who knows where we're going to be next year. But, man, I hope you just have a good day where you're healthy and you're happy. And to all of my purple friends, seizure free. We love you. Isabelo, what do you want to tell the people? How do we wrap it up? What do you want the people to know as we roll out?
Well, I want to say just during this Thanksgiving holiday, just be grateful for the little things. I grew up as my mother was the help for a lot of rich white folks. And I'm this, biracial kid in, predominantly white areas. And, I went to white schools growing up earlier, but my mother was the help. And, both of my parents worked very hard and, did what they could. But I am fortunate for perspective, And so during the holiday season, there's a lot of infighting and whatnot. You may have disagreements, but you know what? It's all about family and good people. That's what matters. Because you're not going to please everybody. And that's just the reality. Be it, the same, whether it's a different team, different political belief system. Let's say you have like a gay cousin or nephew or whatnot. Who cares? I like vagina, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Love them. I love my gay family. Well, yeah. I don't, whoever, I have some family that are, doing their thing, that are in the LGBTQ community. I'll just say that. They're doing their thing, and I love them. I love them. And I hope they have a wonderful Thanksgiving, too. And I'm quite honestly bummed I can't be with them on Thanksgiving because I love them that much. So.
Right. But the point is that we should be grateful, for being surrounded by good people. There are POS pieces of shit out there as well. But we have to be grateful for the good people in our lives and for the opportunities we have created for ourselves. And there's much more to come. And Mike, again, stop with this old shit, man. You're only, you're in your mid 40s. Come on. So basically,
whoa,
with CRISPR and the
early 30s, bro.
I said,
wow.
I said 40s. 40s.
I said, whoa, no, 30s, bro. I'm in my mid 30s. What are you talking about? I'm actually 27, bro. I turned 27 like a week ago, man. I don't know why you're lying to the phone. I don't know what you're doing. I'm over here. I'm 27, man. 27, bro. What are you saying right now, bro? Anyway,
I have a punchline. I have a punchline though. So
yeah.
Basically, with new medical advances, 40 is adulthood. and your 20s and 30s is adolescence. Because if we live to 120 with modern medicine, that's the baseline then, especially if we take care of ourselves. So then 40 is just when we're hitting our stride, according to the new timeline. Because back 200 years ago, we used to live to 40, and that was it, and then we croaked. But
Okay, well, what is 50 then?
50 is like, I guess, finally middle age. Because what it is now, if the average American lives to 72 years, average American male lives to 72 years old, then 35 is middle age. So with CRISPR, and if we live to 120, then 55 would be middle age, the new middle age. That's if you're in good shape, you have all your cognitive abilities still, and you're hip. Oh, and I want to talk. I want to talk about, because I've worked with a lot of people cross generationally, and I've typically been the youngest guy in any crew I've been with. Scientific study has shown that people lose their neuroplasticity at the age of 25. So what neuroplasticity means is your ability to adapt. Let's say if you had the luxury of working or the burden of working for a company for 30 years, you retire at 64, 65, you get your pension, and you just had one job, that doesn't require much neuroplasticity. If you're an entrepreneur, old or young, you've had to adapt, especially if you're a solopreneur or if you have a smaller organization where you have to be more hands-on. Neuroplasticity also, it decreases your likelihood of developing Alzheimer's and dementia. Now, I have an aunt who has dementia. She's in her mid-50s. My grandma, my maternal grandma, she had dementia, and she died at 88. With the last decade of her life, you could tell the difference. Now, there's a study that proves that 20 grams of creatine a day actually boosts cognitive ability and recovery. So it's not just the muscle recovery, it's also cognitive recovery. That's 20 grams or 4 scoops of creatine a day. Now, creatine does get expensive, but if you go to GNC, or if you're health conscious, that's already in your on your grocery list.
I agree, guys. I'm gonna make Isabelo hang out for this. Where did it go? Oh, I think it went. Gotta be quick. There it is. All right, Isabelo, hang out real fast. I got this read to do. Let's go. Waiting for the acceptance start. Won't go. Oh, hold on. There we go. Guys, are you looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? Get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st. Normally a $29.99 value. And I'm going to read that again. Guys, are you looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without ads? Well, then get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st, normally a $29.99 value. Guys, with Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all your devices and access to exclusive premium content, even on this channel, because we do it every week with no interruptions, just the streams and videos you love anytime, anywhere, including from this channel right here. Plus, Perplexity Pro boosts your productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. Guys, I use Perplexity every day in my work, and it is awesome. Save 30% on this powerful bundle. Head to rumble.com/premium. That's rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. All right, guys, thank you so much for that.
Thank you to our sponsors.
And we are back. Yes. All right, brother. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Creatine is key and important. Let's go. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so creatine is not only for muscle recovery, also has been it's been clinically, they've done clinical trials to prove that 20 grams or 4 scoops of creatine a day, it helps boost cognitive recovery and longevity.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you're health conscious, you want your machine to last longer. You learn about a thing or two. You know.
Agreed. The, I mean, isn't that the whole secret? You know what I mean? Like, here's the problem: is that, and I, not that I can really understand because I'm only 27, right? But there's something about you. You live like you're never gonna die, and you're never gonna get old till your mid-30s, maybe a little later, and then all of a sudden you live like you're gonna die every day, and you're trying everything you can to preserve what little life you got left. So, start early and do the natural things, because I promise you, you go to the doctor, you end up on 35, 40 pills, 20 different prescriptions a day. That's not what it is, man. That's not what you need. You need healthy food. You need that creatine. Listen to Biz Rep right here. Listen to Chef Isabelo. He knows all about it, and he actually can hook you up with what you need. And finally, because we're so far over, man, I'm going to hit it. Iron Bull, January 25th, February 22nd, March 29th, April 24th, and May 31st. You're going to see some of the most amazing wrestling in the United States. You got to go Seaport. That is the Seaport in Georgia. You got to go to. Let's go. You want to work the shows, the Seaport Championship Wrestling? Man, maybe. It would be April probably. That's my birthday month if I was able to do it. Oh, my gosh, that would be crazy. We got to get you on a podcast anyway, Iron Bull. Sorry. Got to quit talking. See, that's the problem with it. Having a friend. I'm just talking because Izzy's a friend. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're not a guest. You're a friend. But you are a guest. And I should treat you like one. My bad. We're way over. Anything past an hour doesn't count.
Well, I mean, it's a cherry on top for the audience, right?
Hey, it's bonus time. Tell the people now. Couple things. Tell the people how they can order from you and where they can find you on your socials and anything you have coming up, like a podcast or something that they need to be on the lookout for.
Right. So putting back on the Chef Isabelo hat, because So Chef Isabelo, I've been in business since 2021. I've serviced over 750 customers throughout Southern California and out of state as well. And it's not so easy being a small guy, but there are people that appreciate the value. You could order at Butcher Box, HelloFresh, Good Shop, Alaskan Salmon Company, local.
Other companies. Just say other companies. We don't say their names. Boo.
Okay, but my point is that it's all about choice. You're choosing who to work with. And that's how it is in business. Because people can, they can make blanket statements about some things, but in reality and actual practice, it's much more difficult. Now, you see all these business gurus who are 22 years old talking about crypto bullshit when, what have they built themselves? And so I have a more tactile approach. I do business with real people, with humans, domestically. I have done some abroad, business before. But the main point is that I'm a tactile guy. I'm not going to sell you a BS online course and whatnot, or talk about certain things out of my control. My business is 100% within my control, and I service humans, and humans have different biases. They have like a cousin who can hook it up, and that's fine. If they choose to do business with me, that's how it is. So if you have, regardless of whatever business venture you're doing, that is a factor. Because I know a lot of people are spending thousands, tens of thousands on online coaches. And again, once you put it in practice, is it plug and play? It's not. There's a lot of things that are changing. Things that worked 5 years ago do not work the same today. And I'm in my 30s. I've had so many different, pivots in my career.
So old,
And
bro. So old.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and to just co-sign that real fast, things that worked 6 months ago. As somebody who is got to promote new things literally every day, I've got to promote a new thing for that day or the next day. If I still try to do flyers and promo the way I did 6 months ago, bro, you know what I mean? It takes me so much longer versus using AI, plugging the stuff into AI, letting them make the video and the promo versus trying to put that personal touch on it and make a little bit of art with it.
Right. Now, going back to the neuroplasticity factor. Now, with the algorithm constantly changing every 6 months, You have to stay, you have to attend networking events. You have to read up on, the trades, which is what I do. I've worked with multi-generational teams, and I'll see some people, let's say doctors and lawyers, they do have to keep up to date with certain trends, or they have kids, grandkids, nephews, whatever else, or they're professors, and they have to keep tabs with the lingo, the 6-7 thing. Did that go over your head, Mike?
No, you know, I have a couple of,
me. One, two, three,
no,
6, 7.
I have school teachers in my life. I have school teachers in my life, and yesterday was 6-7 day at the grade school. Do you know what happens when people come home after it being 6-7 day at a grade school? You know what I'm saying?
6,
You don't
7.
say that. You don't even say that. You're like the one after 5 and the one after 8. Those two. You don't even say it anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Though. So anyway,
Right.
once again, all right. I keep
Right.
asking you this. Tell the people your social medias, man. Let them know so we can get out of here.
Right. So chefisabelo.com. You can see all my links. I'm on Nextdoor, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. You can see all my plugs, see my inventory. Now you can order my family packs on the website. Specialty items, you must contact me. They're
Gotta
subject to
contact.
certain MOQs and availability. So people ask me about my Wagyu or lamb or other stuff like that.
Yep.
And
We're
so
listening.
I've simplified my site where it has the baseline products, which are my USDA Prime steak packs, wild caught seafood, free range chicken, and pork. Those are variety packs. They last a family of 4, about 2 to 3 months. Now, that's true. Cheaper isn't always better, because you can have some guy that's selling some stuff off a truck and you don't know the grade. But if you're a connoisseur who knows what he's eating, you can see the grade. You can tell the difference between grass-fed and grain-fed product. Now, grass-fed and grain-finished does yield the prime grade meat, because grain does produce that fat content. 100% grass-fed meat is not so tasty. There's a difference in this. And so a lot of people, they just look into, just blanket statements without doing research. But grass-fed and grain-finished, it yields that prime quality that you want, because fat is flavor. So I don't sell crap. I sell good stuff. It's fairly priced, and you're shopping American, and that's what matters, right?
And where can they find you if they want to order this stuff, my brother?
If you're in Southern California, you just place an order on my socials and whatnot, or on my website, chefisabelo.com. If you're out of state, I also have some out-of-state shipping options available, but shipping isn't free. You have to pay that overnight shipping, the next day air shipping. But it's a great value, and you're supporting a friend. We want to support our friends.
You are supporting a minority business owner who's out there busting his butt every day, still trying to make it work, fighting the tide of AI and BS. And more than anything, man, you're buying value. Okay.
Right. But see, the thing is, Mike, I don't really lead with the minority business owner trope and whatnot, because
I'm just saying it's a fact. Just want people to know it's a fact.
I am brown. Yeah, I am brown. We can see that. But I'm also, Filipino, Haitian, German, Italian. So I'm mixed race. I'm the modern American. They
were all like, "Hey, Isabelo,
Do not come.
Yeah.
We said,
Do not come.
but Isabelo said,
I'm gonna come.
let's go."
But the point is that this is modern America. It's not 40, 50 years ago. So I don't see the world like that. I judge people based off meritocracy and character. I don't judge people on race, gender, creed, political affiliation. I don't care about that shit. I'm somebody who sees people, and that's what people should see, instead of just trying to separate everyone. See people as people.
Absolutely.
And grateful for good people in your life.
It's great, man. It's like, okay, for instance, Muslim folks, right? A lot of people have, some issues, or you see some issues on the internet about. I love the Muslim folks. I may have a lot of different lifestyle practices than they do. as most Americans might from folks from other countries. However, they're great folks to have in your neighborhood. Have you seen how lovely they keep their homes and how nice they keep their yards and how good neighbors they are? And they're good family people. They love their family. They take their roles as parents seriously. So I have no problem. You can have a different religion than me, and there's no hate. I'm looking for somebody that's going to keep their side of the street clean. That's all. And I'll keep my side of the street clean. And so same thing with everyone, man. At the end of the day, it breaks down to, are you going to be somebody who tries to contribute and give a little back? You know what I mean? Or are you going to be somebody who is taking and trying to figure out why it's everybody else's fault that you don't have what you believe you're owed? You know what I mean? And in my opinion, man, we should be givers. You know what I mean? And try to help folks, man, because I promise you, you're not going to be here forever. You will be gone one day. And all that's going to matter is what you left behind. Did you leave behind hate? Did you leave behind your, you know what I mean, anger and hatred all over social media? Just being like, I want to kill people. You know what I mean? Or did you try to make the world a little bit better place? Were you willing to stand in the gap? Because there's a lot of gaps nowadays. And then there's Biz Rebs. There's Isabelos. There's Iron Bull Tauruses standing in that gap, man. And then there's, 27-year-olds like me trying to do podcasts featuring you folks standing in the gap, and we love you, man. It's at Chef Isabelo is the best place to go. Hit him up. He ships all over the country. Only the highest in quality meats. I do got to hit this before we go. Shout out, Iron Bull says you're not only my brother, Mike, or not only my friend, Mike, you're my brother. That is a blessing and an honor. We are brothers, man, and I appreciate you. And he's looking for investors for the Championship Wrestling and Boxing Academies. Future, it's going to be huge. We're going to get on that soon. I got to get you on soon. Last Thursday before Thanksgiving, man, I truly hope everybody has a great one. We love you. We thank you for tuning in. To all my purple friends, you're going to have a healthy, wonderful Thanksgiving. I promise. Shout out to you. Thank you so much, Isabelo, for coming by. And this has been PTPOD Presents Isabelo Part 4 with Chef Isabelo. We will see you next time. Thank you so much. And for you get all of the new pew pew pews. And we are out.
Oh boy!